YouTube crew, what is going on? And welcome back to another video. Now today we are talking about how to win more end games. It is so frustrating when you have a clean game going, you've got a good game going in terms of kills, only to finish in second place. So today I'm going to be giving you a few different tips and then taking you inside of my mentality by breaking down two different situations where I am by myself and I got to clutch up for my team. So as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe down below. Let's go hashtag victory down in the comments below for the algorithm. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few different tips here, and then we're going to jump into two different gameplay situations. Now, this applies to my beginner and advanced players. And my advanced players, I want you to more so think about this as a true clutch situation for your squad. 1v whatever, you're by yourself, got to ultimately get the dub. So first things first, this is not strategy related, but just breathe and slow the game down a little bit. So many people get worked up and start to panic that they're the last one and they're in an end circle. Just slow down, take what's given to you, apply these next few tips, and I promise you, you'll have more success. So the first strategy tip that we're talking about is rotations and positioning. Look, positioning wins end games. There is no doubt about it. And when we talk about positioning, we're talking about two things here. Having a power position, which is a spot where other people have to rotate to you. They're rotating in your direction and you can essentially hold them out. And the second thing is, if you're not in a power position and we're looking at rotations, understanding where your cover is. As soon as that circle moves, you need to start thinking about where can you rotate to get to cover. And when you start piecing those together, you start answering questions like, do we rotate late or do we rotate early? Which way do we rotate? Because all of these things apply in terms of we want to get to a power position and we want to have a spot with cover. So that's definitely our big tip right there. But let's talk about a few other small things that you can do. Let other teams fight it out. You know, if you have a squad of 2 and there's 2 teams of 4, let the 2 teams of 4 fight it out and then go third party that for the easy win. You know, it's okay to sit back and let other teams fight sometimes if you're not in a good position. Next up, we have do not be thirst hungry. A lot of people are so focused on one kill that they lose sight of the big picture that there's a lot of people left. Sometimes it's better to rotate out of that situation, re-engage the fight once you're in a better spot. And the last thing is we just got to execute. We got to use our aim, our movement, our positioning, and what we are talking about today, which is our end game strategy to our advantage to get those dubs. So now let's get into some specific examples. So let me quickly fill you in as to where we are right now. I have 19 kills. We have 5 other teams, 16 other players. And just note that me, Tommy, and Dayan are split right now. I'm in prison. And based on this circle pull, I know that I need to get top prison to get that power position. So I'm going to go ahead and push up here. I'm going to check heartbeat, and I have him 26.4 meters away. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my shots here. I'm going to get him down, and I do want to get him thirsted so that I can figure out where his teammates are. Now, notice I have 4 below me and 2 on the same level. So next I need to focus on those 2 on the same level so that I can win power position. And I'm going to keep my cover here. I'm going to peek. I break him. So now I'm going to go ahead and push up. And I actually have a lot of cover on prison because of these structures right here, these triangle structures. So I'm going to go ahead and push right and watch just how I keep my cover. At this point, I am in circle. So I'm in a good spot here. I'm going to go ahead and push up. I catch a quick glimpse of him there. So I would have loved to be able to get back on that and use that heady to my advantage, but it wasn't letting me. So I'm going to go ahead and push around this way. And again, I'm like center circle right now. So I'm in a really good spot. I break him. Now watch how I keep my cover throughout this. I have cover there. I have cover there. I have cover there. There's a lot of cover that I have. Now, I do make one mistake in this end circle, and it's right here. It almost cost me, but luckily, this is where you just have to execute sometimes. I use my movement and my aim to my advantage to ultimately get out of it, but I did not anticipate this guy still being on the roof. Now, I end up snapping over. I down him, and I notice his teammate is still on the roof to the right here. So I do need to go ahead and reposition. I need to plate up and get to a spot. I quick shoulder peek there, and I see him, so we're going to go ahead and take him out. Now, at this point, let's do a quick check. I have 4 other teams and 7 other people. I am by myself. So I notice where circle pull is, right? Now, where is the power position here? Is there a power position? It's really tough to say. Where I fly to is basically one of them, but courtyard is very open. So while you do have this wall as cover, there's still 3 teams and 6 other people. So I don't want to necessarily be in the courtyard area when circle closes. So watch where I go here. I go right to this little cubby. And the reason being is, look, I'm not in circle, so I do need to get in circle, but I know all of the teams are below me right here. So I'm in a position where I can hold them, and I still have a lot of cover here. Now, I do know that I need to rotate. I catch that guy, and I'm not going to push him, right? A lot of people probably would have pushed him there to get the thirst. But if I go to thirst that guy below me, I put myself in courtyard with absolutely no cover, and a lot of teams rotating to me. So I'm actually going to hold here. I'm going to hold. I catch a quick glimpse of those two, and they get two shots at me, right? So they hit me a little bit. There's two players right here, and they're just going to hold me now. So I'm actually going to rotate out of here at this point. I'm going to rotate down the hill because they're all going to fight in courtyard. I'm going to let those teams fight right there. I have no reason to try to be a part of that. I'm going to rotate down the hill here. I have cover. I'm in a good spot. All of a sudden, you probably didn't notice, all of a sudden it's a 1v1. That's where you let other teams fight, and now all of a sudden the lobby just gets decimated, and it's a 1v1, and I have confidence in myself. Now let's talk about rotation here. I know he's going to be top courtyard in this scenario, and circle pulls to decon. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate early. I'm going to get top decon, use cover to my advantage, and now all of a sudden again, because I'm in circle or close to circle, I have a little bit of high ground. I have cover. I'm in a great spot. This is a true power position right here. So notice I have my cover there. I'm just going to hold him. I'm in a really good spot. I catch a quick glimpse. And I want to talk about why I'm so patient. You're going to see me hesitate to shoot him. And the reason being is I want him to commit. I want him to think that I don't see him in this scenario. Because if he knows I'm there, he might have gas mask. He might play left side, which makes it a little bit tougher for me. So watch how I hesitate to shoot him here. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Now I shoot him. Look, because at this point right here, he has nowhere to go. He's not going to be able to jump down the hill and get away. He can't go back inside this way. He can't rotate this way. He is truly out in the open, stuck. Now I just have to execute, hit my shots. I ultimately get the win there. So you see how I applied those tips to ultimately clutch up that end game for my squad, and we clutched up the 24 kill win. So let's get into situation number 2. So situation number 2, we have 2 teams, 4 other players left. We have 16 kills, and we are dead center circle at this point. So I catch that guy rotating right. I'm going to go ahead and actually push over to challenge him. Reason being is I don't see where his teammates are, and I'm still in circle right here. I'm still in a really good spot right now. This building is still in circle, so I'm still in a really good spot there. And as I go to challenge, I see that he's pushing over towards the buy. Now he ends up getting the buy off. He buys 2 teammates back, and let's talk about this real quick. He buys 2 teammates back. I'm going to get the down. I'm going to get the thirst. Now there's 3 pings, right? So he has 3 teammates now alive. 2 floating back in, 1 living quarters. And we essentially have 2 teams, 5 people. So let's break this down. 2 teams, 5 people. So it is me versus a team of 2 versus a team of 3. And those numbers are important in understanding how to play certain situations and who you're going up against. So I end up pushing right here. And at this point, I look at circle and I go, this is a bad idea. You know, the biggest tip that I told you is understanding where your cover is in power positions. Now, I have a bunch of buildings to my left. If I rotate straight across to this to try to get to the shack, all of the teams that are over on this side of the map, both teams that are on this side of the map, can hold me, right? They're just gonna torch me because I'm gonna be out in the open. They don't have to move for quite some time till later in circle. So what ends up happening is I end up trying to rotate left here. So I play building by building. I'm playing quick. This is where your execution comes in. I catch that guy top. I keep moving. I'm not going to challenge him because ultimately I know that I need to get to this living quarters building. So watch how we play this. One up top. I hear this guy jump down. I'm going to break him. Don't get thirst hungry. Keep moving. That team at that point has to make a decision. Do I res that guy or do I keep pushing? He's down. If they don't res him, then ultimately he's going to die and he's one less person. If they do res him, now they have to make that decision, and they're not chasing me. So I get shot from that side. I'm just going to keep pushing. I got 1 plate. I get a thirst there, and at this point, it is a 1v3 situation. And I'm in circle now. Now I'm in a really good position. I got to figure out where they are, but I'm in circle now. So I went from having to push out into the open in order to get to circle to using the buildings to my advantage to ultimately now I'm in a good spot. So I'm going to go and turn back. I see this first guy. I'm going to down him. I see the second guy. I'm going to down him. Now, what was the biggest thing that I told you, or one of the biggest things that I told you? Don't get thirst hungry. Thirst 1, thirst 2. I end up going down there because I was thirst hungry. That is why I highlight that situation. This guy has no plates. He has a Fennec. I should have easily won this game if I didn't try to get thirst hungry. I should have repositioned. I should have rotated around and ultimately figured out where that guy was, clutch him up, and then we get the dub. But unfortunately, I got a little thirst hungry. I tried to take him out, and we lose for that situation, and that's what happens. So, as I always say, I hope you found today's video helpful. Let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.